Are you tired of writing content that doesn't get read? Well, who wouldn't be? But do you want to fix it? Of course you do, and I'm going to teach you how. Hey everyone, I'm Patel, and today I'm going to break down why your content gets zero attention and traffic even when it's fully SEO optimized. Now, before we get started, keep in mind I've been in the place that you've been in, and it's okay. We're going to solve that today. And of course, the other thing I want to talk to you about before we get started is subscribing to this channel. So if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification. If you're on any other channel, just click subscribe. A study by Ahrefs showed that 90.63% of content gets no traffic from Google. Think about that. That's 1 out of 10 pages that are getting traffic, 9 out of 10 pages are getting no traffic. That's a lot of content that's getting no traffic. And there are a few reasons why your content is getting noticed. And there's a few reasons why your content isn't getting noticed. So let's go into each of the reasons. Reason number 1, you're targeting only head terms and keywords. Because if you only target those big popular terms, you're not going to get that much traffic. Leave a comment below when you're doing keyword research and you're using tools like Ubersuggest, what are the keywords that you're targeting? Are you going after those head terms? If you are, let me know in the comments. If you prefer long tail terms, let me know that as well in the comments. I'm curious what portion of my listeners or readers are going after head terms versus long tail terms. And there's no wrong or right answer. If you have a lot of authority, by all means, go after the head terms. If you don't, you're just starting off, go after the long tail terms, and then eventually when you build up your authority, you could then go after more head terms. Start targeting variations of these longer tail keywords as well. Great example of this is how to get more followers on Instagram. How to get more Instagram followers. You see there, one was how to get more Instagram followers, and one was how to get more followers on Instagram. In other words, one variation had the word Instagram and followers switched over the other variation. But they both get searched different amount of times. It doesn't matter what the keyword research tools show you, they're searched different amount of times. So when you do variations of these and you build up those topic clusters or content clusters to support your overall authority around those bigger topics and head terms, you're going to start ranking better, and that's how you compete with the Wikipedias of the world. Now, reason number 2, optimizing for search engines instead of visitors. Look, no matter how much time you spend optimizing your on-page SEO, even making sure your content contains all the keywords that you're targeting, the long tail ones, the head tail, the variations of them, that just won't work if your content doesn't help people. You need to focus on discovering what the intent behind the searches for that keyword is, and then meet that search intent. For example, people searching for iPhone 13 are unlikely going to have search intent met by long form content pieces. The search intent here is more likely transactional and people wanting to buy an iPhone 13. Sure, there may be a 14, 15, or 17, but they're looking for a 13. So even if you put together the best content piece around an iPhone 13 and teaching people how to use it and all the features, that doesn't really mean you're going to get any traffic to it. People are just really looking in most cases to just buy an iPhone 13. Reason number 3, you're not doing contextual internal linking. When you write content in a certain area, let's say you're blogging about marketing, chances are there are plenty of opportunities for you to internally link to other content pieces on your website. Let's say, for example, that I'm writing an article about social media marketing and you also have another page on Instagram marketing. The social media one's just giving an overview of the landscape. Then I cross-link into that Instagram one. It will help that Instagram rank higher, especially if that social media marketing one is already doing well. In my content piece about social media marketing, I'm also probably going to write something about Instagram, nothing big, maybe a paragraph or a few sentences, and then that creates the perfect link opportunity. Now, if I have to fudge in Instagram marketing into my social media marketing article and it doesn't really fit, then I wouldn't do it. But you already know Instagram is social media, so it should fit. The important thing that you need to keep in mind and notice here is that you shouldn't overdo it. You should only link to another page when it benefits the user. I don't want to go read an article, or even better, let me ask you this. Do you want to read an article on SEO, reading, and be like, Neil linked me to Shopify and setting up my Shopify store, even though this article on SEO has nothing to do with e-commerce. You're like, no, why are you linking me here, Neil? You don't want to do that to people, or else in the long run, it'll hurt your rankings. Reason 4, your page doesn't have enough backlinks. Backlinks are still one of the most important ranking signals, and Google takes it into account when serving users with search results. It's just like a presidential election. The more votes the president gets, the more likely they are to win. The similar way happens with the web. Now, there's other factors than just links, but if you get more links than your competitors, oh boy, you better be excited, because you know what? Over time, you're probably going to rank higher, assuming all the other elements are there as well. In the same study I mentioned from Ahrefs, there's a clear correlation between content that gets no traffic and content that doesn't have any backlinks. In other words, the more backlinks a page has, the more organic traffic it gets from Google. You should focus on creating content that has the potential to naturally attract backlinks, and keep working on your link building efforts over time. Reason 5, your content isn't evergreen. Not every content piece should be evergreen, but the majority of your content should be. If you're going to write content that is only going to be relevant for a month in your new site, that's fine. But if it's a huge amount of effort to create that content, well, you're really wasting it. Focus on long-term results. Yes, you may not get the short-term benefit, but that's okay. You win by playing the long game. Your content should be valuable for someone reading it in 1 year or 5 years, and you should devote up to 40% of your content writing to refreshing old content. Check this out. I write 4 pieces of article a month. You know those posts you read on Neil Patel? Yes, I'm writing them 4 a month. But you're like, wait, Neil, we see so many more than that. You know why you see a lot of those posts at the top? I've been blogging for over 10 years. My team updates over 100. Keep in mind, that's 25 times more content than I'm writing. They're updating over 100 of my old articles, keeping them relevant. Now, if your website isn't as old as mine, you don't need to spend that much time updating your old content. So 40% is a good rule of thumb for a blog that's a few years old. You'll notice that most of the time, your content will generally climb up in the rankings and then start getting tons of traffic, and then over time, it starts dying down. But by updating it, boom, it breathes life into that content and then helps pop it back up over time. So that's the solution, is to keeping your content up to date and fresh. Reason 6, your page takes too long to load. It goes beyond just SEO. It goes all about experience. I don't care how many backlinks you have or how good your SEO is. As a user, if I search and I click on your site and it takes like 10 seconds to load, you think I'm going to be sticking around? No. Unless you have like some crazy deal and you're selling me an Apple laptop that's brand new with no defects for $100, I'm not going to wait 10 seconds. Now, no one wants to wait more than 3 seconds in general before they're able to read your content. If someone clicks on your content on Google search,